Hi and welcome to lesson number 4 in this 4-part series where we're looking at some simple groove techniques and concepts over a dominant 7 chord. Now, if this is the first lesson that you're viewing in this series, I really recommend that you go back to lesson 1 and check it out. There's a document for you to download in each of these lessons and some MP3 tracks for you to download so you can jam along with some of the concepts that we're looking at. But it's kind of a structured little 4-part series where we're looking at some different ways of playing over these dominant 7 chords. Okay, lesson 1 we looked at the major pentatonic, all the vertical fingering patterns, how to use them for fills, how to use different ideas starting from different scales of the degrees of the scale. Lesson 2 we looked at the minor pentatonic, all of the stuff you can find in there. And lesson 3 we looked at approach to chord tones and the blues scale. So again, go back and check those out, download the documents, download the play along tracks. Lesson 4 is no exception. There's a document for you to download. If you click the link on the screen, it'll take you right to the page where you can download this document and the play along track. So the concept of this lesson is to recap all of the other 3 lessons and kind of use this information in a more of a solo setting. If you're ever in a situation where you're in a band and the band leader breaks it down, basically points at the bass and the drums and says, go. This can be a very intimidating and very unnerving experience. And I'm speaking from my own experience where back in the day I was in like an R&B band and the band leader, we were just grooving, everything's fine, everyone's playing well. The band leader breaks the band down, just bass and drums, points at me to take a solo. I mean, I totally panicked. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it. I immediately, my instinct went up to the high register and just started playing fast chops. And the track just basically fell apart. The groove was lost. The connection with the musicians was lost. The connection with the audience was lost. And, it was just basically a kind of horrible moment in my life, but also a beautiful moment in the sense that I realized what I really needed to work on. And that was the fundamentals. I get a lot of students who want to come in, play fast, improve the technique, learn all these great licks and tricks and techniques and all of this stuff. But really, the most important thing that you can never dismiss is the fundamentals of groove and time. You can make a big impact with very little information. Like I said, my instinct was to go in a high register and start blazing. That's okay to do that, but there's no sense of urgency. It's important to kind of shape your solo, stay connected with what you're playing, and kind of build little stories and interactions. When you build these ideas, the musicians interact, so there becomes a dialogue. The audience get involved, so it brings momentum. So then you can really shape your ideas in solo, and you can get all those chops out that you want to get out, but just to start in a kind of a good place that kind of brings everybody on your journey with you. Okay, so we're going to look at some simple ideas, what we've looked at, and then what I'm going to do at the end of this video is just perform kind of a groove solo so you can get the idea of where to start and where to take it. So the groove that I'm basically starting out with on the solo that I'm about to show you is we start on this kind of major pentatonic vibe over a C7 chord. So I'm starting on the 5th degree, so it's 5, 6, 1. I'm just kind of playing around with that idea. But as soon as I start soloing, I don't abandon that idea, I stay with it. I use a strong beat, weak beat concept, which we've looked at in other lessons, and then I can start applying these fills and get more active as it goes on. Don't forget that when we get the spotlight on us, we kind of feel this pressure where we have to become the thing, the happening, you know what I mean? And we tend to forget that the music's already happening, so we don't actually have to do that much. We just have to subtly kind of bring us to a different kind of area, but not, like I said, abandoning what we've been working on. So I use a strong beat, weak beat concept to try to kind of fill in my ideas with some licks using these different pentatonics and blues scales and approach patterns. So I'm kind of basically staying around that area of the neck, and then as the groove progresses, then I go into this kind of approach pattern. This approach to the chord tones, the scale above, chromatic below. We looked at that in lesson 3. And you can start adding fills and stuff to that idea. And then from there, I move further up the neck and I start to do this kind of approach technique. And what I'm doing to get this technique is I'm just basically using the right side of my right hand where the pinky is, and I'm just kind of muting across the strings here by the bridge, and then using my thumb and index finger to kind of create this muted sound. Okay, so I just want you to experiment with all that stuff. Well, I'm going to perform the solo, groove solo right now. Download the document and the MP3 play along. Really pay attention to what I'm doing. If you've done the other 3 lessons, you should be able to really hear the concepts clearly what I'm doing, and just notice how I'm moving away from it, how I'm kind of building melodic interest as well within that solo, but I'm always keeping the groove as the main focus. You know, and at the end of my solo, I then go back to my original idea just to let the musicians and the audience know that I've done my thing and it's time to move on. So check out the solo. I hope you like it. I hope you've got a lot of good ideas from these lessons, and drop your comments into the box below. Let me know how you're getting on, and hopefully we'll see you inside the Tony Great Bass Academy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next series of lessons.
Thank you.